Hi, welcome to Movie Review Mom. Thank you so much for subscribing. Be sure to like this video also. That actually really helps me. And ring that little bell. It's actually also down below. And it will notify you every time I upload a new movie review. Be sure and visit our Facebook group called Movie Review Mom, where I post lots of really fun stuff and we get some really good conversations going on about movies. Anyway, today the movie I'm reviewing is Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Woo! So excited. So it's Christmas time. That means big movies are battling it out in the box office. This movie is rated PG-13. It's 2 hours and 21 minutes. And the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is an A. And I'll tell you why. First, I'm going to give you a kind of a quick nutshell overview and then some tips for parents, some themes that I think are worth talking about with the people you see the movie, and some things I like and some things I don't like or didn't like about the movie. All right. In a quick nutshell, first of all, I always feel so overwhelmed by the weight of reviewing a movie in a franchise as epic as Star Wars. Fans are so passionate about it that I want to make sure I get it right, especially because I am a fan myself. I remember watching the very first Star Wars, A New Hope, when it first came out in theaters in 1979. I remember watching it with a friend, not realizing, of course, at all the amazing journey that this saga would take us all on. Now, younger fans don't quite understand how important this franchise has been to those of us older moviegoers who have watched the entire saga unfold over the years. It's almost like when I see that scroll at the very beginning, I'm like, which I know is ridiculous, but that's how I feel. Watching this movie is like taking a holy pilgrimage through cinema and time and space. Okay, maybe I'm being overly dramatic, but it feels that way to us, those who are my age, uh, and to me. And I think it's interesting because younger people are like, it was okay. And I'm like, but you don't understand. It's the final installment in this huge franchise. And so it's important. I think people love Star Wars so much because we all want to believe that we have something special inside us and that we could be a hero, or in someone else's eyes, that we could do something impossible or important and meaningful with our lives. It allows us to escape and imagine a different kind of world where people live among the stars in a galaxy far, far away. And it allows us to be kids again, eating buttery popcorn in a theater and being amazed at the magic of film. This final movie left me very satisfied and teary eyed. I was kind of like embarrassed. I was looking around to see if everybody else was teary eyed, and everybody else was kind of sitting there eating their popcorn. There were quite a few catch your breath moments, or at least for me, where I went, and it is just truly stunning and gorgeous to look at. I don't want to give you a lot of details because I don't want to spoil anything for you, because there were some really fun surprises. But there really needs to be a category for movies like this and like the Avengers, for example, that wrap up a monumental franchise that has been so significant in our culture and society, right? So I hope that they'll get some kind of an award for what they've just accomplished. Now, some quick tips for parents is that, first of all, Disney sent messages out to theaters to post warning signs that there would be some scenes with flashing strobe lights, something that can induce seizures. Um, and if people are sensitive to loud sounds and that kind of stuff, then they might be bothered by this. There's a huge body count, like all Star Wars movies. You see a little bit of blood on a few people, but not like gore or anything like that at all. Tons of destruction and violence, like all Star Wars movies. Some mild profanity and name calling. Some kissing, including two women kiss, and then some cleavage on a few female characters. Now, some themes are hope, of course, and I love that the first Star Wars movie talked about hope. And this final movie did too. And I love it when a franchise can go full circle like that. That's really important to me, where they try to tie up loose ends. And in fact, some people thought that was a weakness, that they had so many loose ends that they were trying to tie up. But I didn't think so at all. I thought it was fine. And I was waiting for certain things. Now, I'm sure a lot of things still have been left out, but the really important themes and things I thought were tied up very nicely. Another theme is teamwork, memory, connection, standing for something, family, blood, ancestors, and even those who are not blood related, who have a huge influence on you, like mentors. All really fascinating themes, which have also been themes throughout the entire franchise. Now, some things that I really liked, without going into too many details, is I thought it was interesting that Mark Hamill said security was so tight during the filming of the movie that he said it was like being in the CIA. The good news is that I had not read any spoilers before seeing the movie, and so everything really was a fun surprise for me. So try not to tell anybody else, so that everybody can have the same joy of or discovering and watching things unfold. This is the ninth and final Star Wars movie, composed by the incredible John Williams. The music is so good, noticeably good, as expected. And as each new episode in the saga introduces new characters, we also lose some of our favorites. When George Lucas originally designed the series, he said that C3PO and R2D2 would be the only two characters to appear in all 9 movies. And in fact, Anthony Daniels, who voices C3PO, is the only actor to appear in all 9 Star Wars movies. Now, sadly, actress Carrie Fisher died in 2016. So they had to do some rewrites, obviously, and ultimately decided to use some unused footage from 2 movies, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And I thought it was really clever how they were able to digitally add some gray hair and repurpose those scenes and use them in the film. She even got top billing in this movie, which would have made her so happy, because she kept saying, this next one's going to be my film, right? And it did, her influence definitely came across on the screen. And some people thought that her footage was awkward, but I thought it was fine. You can tell that there's some digital enhancement stuff going on, some CGI stuff, but I loved having her in the movie. And again, that helped bring it full circle. And it has been 36 years since we've seen Lando Calrissian in a Star Wars movie. Actor Billy D. Williams wanted to be in this, and I'm so glad that they let him join in the cast, because he provides some really fun, joyful moments of reunion and triumph. Uh, Fans are so passionate about the Star Wars franchise that I love it when I hear heartwarming stories about what the film team did to give back. For example, there was this huge Twitter campaign to help a terminally ill young boy in London that resulted in his getting a private screening of this movie before any of us got to see it last month. So that's super sweet. I loved the kintsugi imagery of Kylo Ren's repaired mask. Adam Driver, first of all, is so good, and I'm such a fan. Kintsugi, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. Kintsugi, it's a Japanese custom of repairing broken vessels with kind of a gold glue, illustrating that even broken things have value and can be made new again. And the scars represent where you have been and what you've learned, and that those are valuable things. And so in his is not gold, but kind of a red, to kind of go thematically with the red color of the Siths. Um, anyway, of course, he was great. And by the way, have you seen him in the Netflix movie called Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson? He is brilliant. I always thought he was good, but in that movie, my jaw dropped, and I just was so impressed. And I was so happy for him that he recently got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor. Very well deserved. I thought it was his best performance to date. But again, in Star Wars, he's great as expected. Now, this fantastic cast includes Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Anthony Daniels, Donald Gleason, Billy D. Williams, Ian McDermott, Lupita Nyong'o, Kerry Russell, Junis. I'm not listing everybody. Anyway, a bunch more people. And by the way, Daisy Ridley is great too. She is appropriately intense and exactly what we need from her. And we almost dismiss her as we talk about all of these other things, but she is solid and always has been from the beginning. And she had very large shoes to fill to provide a heroine that we could really get behind. And anyway, she's great. Some fantastic action sequences are just gorgeous to look at, including her, Kylo Ren, a million other people. And she just is so determined and um, made you feel that intensity like, this is it. This is the last hope. This is the end. This is the final installment. We've got to make this work. And you felt that from her. And we needed to feel that from her, I felt like. Now, director J.J. Abrams has done a phenomenal job directing classics like Star Wars and even Star Trek. It's a huge undertaking to provide something new to a beloved franchise while keeping fans happy and satisfied. And so I thought he did an excellent job. And I was grateful that he included a lot of respectful nods, not only to past episodes, but especially to the very first one. Like I said, I wanted everything to feel like it was going in full circle and that things were being resolved from the very, very beginning. Some other things that I really liked were there are these new horse-looking creatures that looked so real. And then there are a bunch of other fun creatures as well, which I always love. Fantastic cinematography, creative camera angles, clever transitions, light speed jumping, which was very cool. Just so many moments that I can't wait to see them again that I really enjoyed. Now, I only listed a few things that I didn't like. Obviously, I really enjoyed the movie. First of all, hardcore fans are probably wishing that George Lucas's original 12-part movie series hadn't been cut down to only 9. Still, 9 is amazing. What a legacy that this franchise has delivered for us. Now, the story is a bit complicated, requiring a lot of explanation. But almost all of the movies are like that because things have to happen. And just that, even that rolling scroll at the very beginning doesn't cover it all. So there are a lot of moments where characters have to explain this, that, and the other. And some people feel like that kind of pulled the action sequences down. I was fine, whatever. Some things need to be explained. And then Zori Bliss, played by Kerry Russell, was kind of thrown in. We weren't given a whole lot of time to fall in love with her, and she kept switching how she felt about things and people. And so I was like, eh. And there were a few other characters where I was like, I really don't care, but that person lives or dies. I just haven't spent that much time getting to know them. But I was really invested in some of the main characters, obviously. And then the nods from the past. I wanted to have some of that kind of stuff resolved as well. Okay, be sure that's it. I tried to talk as fast as I can because you got to get to the movie theaters and see this. This is one of those movies that you want to see on the big screen. Be sure and subscribe, as I mentioned, but also check out my movie review on moviereviewmom.com, where I list a lot of really funny lines in the movie, as well as some really interesting and insightful lines that I want you to read because they were so good. I'm scrolling down looking at everything I just wrote, and they were so good. If you haven't seen the last movie, should you see it first before you see this one? Yeah, maybe, probably. That would probably help you to understand things a little bit more. But will you still be entertained? Absolutely. Anyway, thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I hope you enjoy this movie as much as I did. And thank you again for subscribing and spending time with me. Have fun at the theaters. Bye for now.